Hello, everybody. My name is Landon Arenas. Thanks for listening to episode 243 of the Vortex Apologetic podcast.
Welcome to the Vortex Apologetic, where substance reigns over mindless entertainment. Because biblical truth matters in a profound, timely, and urgent way in a lost and dying world. And now, introducing your humble servants in Jesus Christ, Ricardo, aka Beef, Arenas, and Jeff, the Brain, Claiborne.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for another day. Thank you that you are providing your grace and your mercy for our nation and for us. You are a sovereign God. You are a God filled with grace and mercy, but you are also a holy God. And your holiness cannot be ignored. Your holiness cannot be set aside for you to implement your love. Your love must be given according to your holiness, otherwise you would cease to be a holy and righteous God. And we know that from the scriptures, Father. And so, Lord, we ask that you not judge our nation for sins, but we ask that you renew us back to your righteousness, that you return our nation to its foundation, return our nation to glorifying and honoring God Almighty, and help us to walk in your truth and to remove the idolatry and to remove the sin that so blinds us and devastates our land. Father, help us to walk in your truth and be with us during the podcast. Give the Beef and I wisdom to walk through these subject matters we're going to be talking about from a biblical perspective. Thank you, Father. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Hey, man. What's up, bro?
Well, cellmate, how you doing?
Doing. Can't complain. What else? Better than I should. Right?
Okay, well, good. How is YouTube Penitentiary from your perspective?
YouTube. Well, I released an episode last week, and guess what? The moment I released it, it got removed, of course, because all we do is here, bros, provide misinformation. You know that, right? We're just trying to misinform people, we're trying to misguide them, right? That's what we do at the Vortex Apologetic,
Well, apparently our crime, our YouTube felony was medical misinformation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it got me suspended for a week. And it hit our podcast page as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so the best I could discern was that the medical misinformation that they were talking about was the clip that we played of the Princeton medical professor who is going to be Trump's NIH director in his upcoming administration.
Right.
An expert in the field. Now, I want to ask the audience a quick and easy question. Which would you trust more when it comes to medical knowledge? A Princeton medical professor who is an actual doctor and researcher and understands medicine and understands medical issues, understands vaccines, or an 18-year-old typing away in his mom's basement making, minimum wage from YouTube, who has the lofty title of fact checker, or what I call truth denier, and determines if the information is correct or false, or the programmer who programmed the information into the algorithm that determines this artificial intelligence that determines that was it Princeton or Stanford? I think it's a Stanford. Stanford
so.
medical
Yeah.
professor. I think Stanford is correct. Doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to medicine.
Yeah. What does he know?
Which one do you trust? The 18-year-old in his mom's basement working for YouTube, or a medical professional when it comes to medicine?
Yeah. Not only a medical professional, but someone that has put in the time and effort to get to the truth, to bring about the truth. 18-year-old sitting in the basement typing away. They're looking for truth, I guess.
This is pressure from the government. There are over 20, I think the number I heard was 20 to 30 owners of social media platforms or CEOs who have had their bank accounts shut down because they refused to do the censorship that the government was demanding that they do on their social media sites.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of sinister, evil stuff that the government is doing. And this is the kind of stuff that the Trump administration, when they go in and on January the 20th, are going to go after. That kind of corruption and evil. I think the American people are fed up with it. When you have doctors and medical researchers kicked off of YouTube because they talked about medicine and medical research, and it did not agree with the 18-year-old in his mom's basement working for YouTube, the so-called fact checker, or it did not agree with the programmer who programmed the algorithm for YouTube, who has no medical knowledge at all, but they get all of their information from a corrupt government of which the people have lost their faith in the FDA. They've lost their faith in the CDC because they've lied to us too many times. When you have that, then you know that the YouTube platform is nothing more than silly entertainment. And there's nothing that you can't go to YouTube and find anything super serious. Anything that contains truth and seriousness when it comes to subject matters like that, you're going to have to go to other platforms that did not bend their knee to the government tyranny. And so, guess what, YouTube? You have the best platform when it comes to uploading videos, when it comes to the quality, the video quality and sound quality of videos and everything. You have the best platform, but you've blown it. And the new administration is coming in. I think you're going to have some things to answer for in Congress and maybe in the Department of Justice, and maybe some lawsuits coming your way. So you might want to curb it.
Yeah, I find it amazing, bro, that they go bananas over stuff like that, medical stuff like that. And we're just basically repeating what some of these doctors have already researched themselves. We're just kind of expounding on that and kind of agreeing with that. But when it comes to videos that shows semi-nudity, or in some cases nudity completely, foul language, and acts of violence and all this stuff, they don't seem to censor that as often as they censor quote unquote misinformation, right? So again, that's to tell you how much of an agenda they have. Or if not, they are being paid heavily to do that.
Well, I think they're being intimidated by government that's trying to force them into it.
Sure.
And so it's become nothing more than a propaganda site. I mean, it's no better than the mainstream media. Now, you can get some things out of it. There's some things you can talk about that the mainstream media doesn't talk about that they don't censor. I'll give
Mm,
them that.
right.
But when it comes to things that would save people's lives because there's so much false information being put out about vaccines and about pandemics,
Hmm.
and you have thousands of medical researchers saying the government is lying to you. You have hundreds of doctors signing petitions saying the government is lying to you about this. And when you have big money involved, where doctors are losing their jobs, losing their license, being targeted because they're speaking the truth, because the administrators who are not doctors but are businessmen are in league with a corrupt government that is pushing the agenda, then you can't take anything on as far as certain subject matters seriously on YouTube. They are the ones doing the misinformation. They're the ones putting out the gaslighting and the propaganda.
Hmm.
So, if you want the real stuff, folks, you have to go to our Rumble site and to the podcast that we're doing now. And I'm
Absolutely.
old man talking on Rumble, and the O and old is capitalized, the M and man is capitalized, and the T and talking is capitalized. It's all squeezed together as one word. Old man talking. If you want to, this will be going on Rumble, not on YouTube.
Yep.
YouTube has lost it.
Yep. And I'm going to actually update our Rumble account. We do have a Vortex Apologetic Rumble account, but we do not have much material in there. So I'm going to start making that change to Rumble so that we can have our videos uploaded there, or at least our audio videos uploaded up there. But don't forget, like my brother mentioned, we have the vortexapologetic.com, where it's our official website. You can find all good information in there, from our belief to our own statement to podcast and a blog. We have a blog as well. We haven't been up more currently doing blogs, but we do have some great articles in there that my brother and another good friend of ours, Pastor David Gamble Jr., has written and has allowed us to be able to post those. I encourage you, go check those out. And also, we have links to my brother's personal page, Rumble page, and some of the music stuff that I do. So yeah, go there, check us out. Again, and X, Twitter. I've been actually trying to stay pretty active on Twitter, just doing back and forth with people, but at the same time trying to push the Vortex Apologetic as well, so we get some more listeners. So yeah, you find us everywhere else. Other than that, your major podcast carriers, right? Apple, Podbean, Amazon has us, Spotify has us, and a few other Amazon. I don't know if I mentioned Amazon, but Amazon has us, so you'll find us there. So yeah, absolutely, brother. I'm with you. I'm tired of YouTube when it comes to our stuff being removed, and because this is not the first one. This is about, I'd say we had anywhere between 10 to 15, maybe 20 episodes that had been removed because of the same thing.
Same issue.
Same issue. Yeah.
And
And
we don't.
this is the fastest ever. This is the fastest
Yeah,
ever.
well, they're scared.
Yeah. Right.
They know that there's a big change coming, and they are attacking as hard as they can.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
we have never said anything that didn't have a good, solid medical professional source.
Hmm. Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we're just seeing the last days of a dying, corrupt regime that is lashing out because they're scared, they're angry, they're mad, and they're really angry at the people because the people would not knuckle under to their propaganda. These are control freaks.
Yep.
These are the kind of people that will use all kinds of manipulation techniques, including misinformation, anger, threats, in order to try to control you as a person. That's the type of people they are. And we're not yielding to it. We're telling them, no, we're not playing into your manipulation and control techniques. And when you do that, when you face down a manipulator, the manipulator starts losing their mind. They
Mhm.
and that's what's happening. They are losing it because we're not bending the knee to them.
Man, good stuff, bro. Yeah. So forget YouTube. We're gonna move along to elsewhere.
I'll still
Hey,
do some YouTube videos, but it'll all be Bible stuff and
yeah. No, absolutely. We'll continue to use their platform. Like my brother mentioned, it is the best platform when it comes to video uploading. But enough is enough with this whole misinformation stuff that they are so adamant about. And again, yeah, like my brother says, there's a lot of things that are going to change for them. So they're probably trying to get their last kicks in before they, you know, they're finally stopped from doing all of that. Hey, bro, what is this I hear? Ron Paul gets it. Let's see. Elon Musk asked me, and that's Ron Paul, to advise the new Department of Government Efficiency. That's Dodge, whatever you want to call it, DOGE. He said, I love to help bring sanity back. What? What is he talking about, bro? Is the Department of Government Efficiency gonna come in and just like slap some people around and bring some sense into them?
well, Ron Paul's been fighting this battle most of his life.
Ron Paul is a man, bro. He is one that, man, he will fight for sure.
hmm Yeah, he's been fighting for government physical responsibility, not physical like working out physical, but physical
Right.
like monetary policy physical.
Uh-huh.
He's been um, fighting for that the whole time he was in Congress, and that was when he was a fairly young man.
Yeah.
He's a medical doctor, but he's been fighting to rein in
Mm-hmm.
government spending and get control of it. And finally, as he's older, he's got to be in his late 70s or his 80s.
Yeah.
He's finally going to get to see his dream come true of government being held responsible for just crazy spending
Yeah.
uh, and wasting our tax dollars. Why in the heck are we paying income tax if the only thing they're going to do with it is commit evil?
Yeah. Or use it for the wrong reasons, you know?
Wrong reasons, waste it on stupid. It's what it is. It's a job program.
Yeah.
Make up any kind of research you can come up with. We're going to research why snails crawl on the ground. Yeah, we
Right.
need $50 million for that research. And you get a group of scientists together and you go, hey, here's your paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah. Give us your findings.
That's how asinine and stupid it is.
No, it is. It is. It's a lot of wasted money.
Yeah.
I can attest to that because, my brother knows, but some people will probably know that I've worked with the government and I can tell you the stupid amount of money our agency just throws away with stupid stuff that they choose to do. It's like, what? Why don't you just save that money and, give employees a raise? It's like, come on. Crazy.
Exactly.
Well, that's good though. I'm excited for that. If he does, jump on board, man, that's going to be quite the team. Quite
Yes.
the team. So they're really, I mean, they're prepping. They're prepping for a good start to the year, and I'm sure they're going to hit the floor running, brother. And they're going to start doing some audits, I'm sure, and just start making sense of things and bring that sanity back. Oh, that's right, your folks, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring you in closer, hoping to get the volume better. I'm probably looking like a big head giant on the video here.
Is that your folks
You're
at Rumble,
tiny.
right?
You're over here. He's over here, folks. He's tiny. He's a he's a shrinking man.
Shrinking man, that's hilarious.
Anyway,
Yes, I'm smaller.
if you're on the podcast, folks, we're talking about the video I'm taking. It's very, very low tech, if you understand. so,
Good stuff.
so verse video, it's up.
Yeah. Well, it says Fruit Loop sales are tanking. What? What is this about? All right. I'll hit it off.
High
And let's.
fructose corn syrup and other garbage that's in there. Go ahead.
Oh, but it's so good.
Red alert, major report on Fruit Loops just out. Their sales are down 54.6% in the last 12 weeks. Our campaign to get artificial food dyes out of Kellogg cereals is working. You're making your voice heard at the supermarket and you're voting with your dollars. It's absolutely incredible to see these numbers. Toucan Sam is looking for a new job. Kellogg shareholders, time to dump the stock. Guys, this is how we change the world. It is absolutely incredible to watch. American companies will no longer be able to get away with selling us ingredients they don't use in other countries, using more toxic, poisonous chemicals in cereals here in America. Americans are rising up and the data is right there. Thank you so much. Spread the word.
Wow. Toucan Sam, huh? Is going to have to look for a new job.
Yeah, he is. I'm going to see if I can get this closer and see if we can't change the picture for you guys. Yeah.
Whoa. Seems closer. I mean, I can see your phone. Oh, I can see the phone now. Oh, yeah.
There we are. Let's do that. All right. There we are. I think that's going to work. So now I can't see you, brother. I'm going to have to move. Okay. So, yeah. So here's the strategy. Hey, I can't get this to work no matter what I do. I'll do that.
Right.
There we go. Here's the strategy. You target one company at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, spreading it all over the place. You bring in your forces, you attack one company, and you make an example out of them, and you basically destroy them. And then you look and you say, who's the next one? And then you target company number 2. And if they don't want to cooperate, you destroy them. Pretty soon, you think the corporations are going to start to get the message?
Right.
Stop putting garbage in our foods, all this processed food that is killing us because we're eating high fructose corn syrup and food dyes and everything else in there that's causing cancer. It's causing diabetes. It's causing, people to be overweight. It's not fruit. It's not the fruit. It's not the food, the regular food that you eat. It's the processed foods that have all of this chemical lab produced chemicals in it that's causing most of the health problems in America. And people say, well, I have a right to eat whatever I want. Yeah, you can go eat it if you want to.
Right.
But problem is, if I put just a trace of strychnine in my food product that's processed, it's just such a microscopic trace that I can legally say, well, it's not killing anybody. It's not hurting anybody. It's such a microscopic trace, and it enhances the flavor. Let's say it enhances the flavor. Well, it's not hurting anything. But if you eat enough of the product over time, what's going to happen? The strychnine is going to build up in your body and it's going to kill you.
Yep, absolutely.
You think I would be charged with murder?
Right.
I think I would.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're putting products in the food, processed foods today. They're doing exactly the same thing, even though it's not strychnine. There's still poisons in our food, in our processed foods, and it is killing people. But nobody's being charged with murder.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll help put it into perspective.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If you're going to put out a food product, put out a safe food product.
Right. Right. Which is probably the one thing that every company battles with, right?
Right.
I know I want to get product out there fast and I want it to last a long time and I want consumer to buy, but at what cost, right? Like what cost are you going to poison people or are you just going to put the right product and hey, just let it be even if you take a little bit of a loss? So what? You're still making money. People are still going to buy your product, so
Yeah.
good points, brother. Good stuff. Good stuff.
By the way, the CEO of Stellantis has got the boot.
Really?
Carlos Tavares, he's gone. He was the one that was
Jeez.
killed. He killed the V8s and the Dodges,
Uh-huh.
which killed the company,
Yeah.
and tried to push it into electric,
Yeah.
which was killing the company.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And they
Yeah.
couldn't get the electric to work right. And they kept losing money, kept losing money, and they were losing money across the board. Dodge, Chrysler,
Yeah.
Ram, and then of course they had their European vehicles, right? They were
Yeah.
having
Right. Right.
quality issues because he kept cutting cost and putting more plastic parts in the vehicles in the engine compartments, and started having problems with the engines.
Yeah.
Whereas Dodge, it was up toward the top in quality before he took over. Well, he got the boot this week,
Mm.
and there's rumors that they might bring Tim Kinesis back in. Tim Kinesis was the CEO of Dodge when they brought out the Hellcat, the Scat Pack,
The
all of
good stuff when they had the good
good
stuff
stuff.
coming out.
He took Dodge and he elevated it to star status, and they're in negotiations with him to take over Stellantis. So we'll see what happens, but
Interesting.
this is and of course, Tavares was pushing the whole woke agenda.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
pushing the electric. He was pushing all that stuff, and he just got the boot. This, folks, do you understand that means that there's a lot of change that's coming?
Yeah.
Fruit Loop gets their butt kicked. Kellogg's gets their butt kicked. Tavares gets his butt kicked out of Stellantis. Yeah, it's that's the tip of the iceberg. This is going to be a fun year to see all of these knuckleheads getting their due.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's going to be fun year to start and a great year, great 4 years to come.
Yeah.
And this video right here that talks about the CEO of insurance giant United Healthcare, bro,
This is
Brian Thompson. He was fatally gunned down in Manhattan today. Wow.
this to me looks like a professional hit.
Okay.
The guy's got he's got a hoodie on, he's got a backpack.
Yeah.
He's very calm, very methodical.
Yeah.
It looks like he has a silencer on that weapon.
Uh-huh.
This is a professional. I think this
Mm.
professional hit personally.
Yeah.
The police are investigating it. When the gunman, after he walked up calmly to make sure he had done his job properly when the CEO went down, and then he ran off with his backpack, which means he's going to change out of the clothes he's in and change into something different and get a completely different look. He will dump that weapon somewhere. They won't be able to get any prints off of that weapon or anything like that. And so the question is why?
Mm.
What I haven't done any research on United Healthcare.
Yeah.
But
I believe there's a lot of rumors in regards to payoffs and favors from government and political individuals. So, that'd be probably a big thing. Probably somebody wanted him gone, because they're like, well, he might speak. He might say some stuff.
yeah, maybe. But something's not right here. And maybe they'll come up with something in the investigation. We'll see what happens.
Fox 5, Good Day New York, first on the scene. We saw as officers attempted to give this man CPR, those desperate moments. But again, this victim, the man who was shot in the chest, has died. This all happened about 6:45 in the morning outside of the Hilton Hotel right off 6th Avenue. The suspect described as a 6-foot-tall man with a slim build, possibly wearing a cream-colored jacket, black gloves. He took off northbound on 6th Avenue. People who witnessed this situation, there were actually 2 or 3 people who saw it. They said that it appeared that this suspect was waiting for hours, maybe overnight, outside of the Hilton, possibly targeting this victim. It's unclear potentially how these two know each other.
Yeah, that's a hit. They knew where they were staying. They knew to wait, however long it took for that man when he walks out, just finish him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and this guy looks like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, right.
This premeditated murder, obviously.
Right.
This looks professional to me.
It's not his first job.
Probably not.
Wow. That's gonna be interesting. Hopefully when they finish the investigation they get more information on that. And then we got Speaker Johnson rejects Biden's request for additional Ukraine funding, saying
was that the $9 billion or whatever?
Yeah, whatever the heck it was. Let's see what he says. It's a shorty. So.
Last week, Biden administration requested to attach the upcoming CR additional aid to Ukraine, $24 billion. Do you planning to do that? What is your position?
I'm not planning to do that. There are developments by the hour in Ukraine. I think, as we predicted, and as I said to all of you weeks before the election, if Donald Trump is elected, it will change the dynamic of the Russia war on Ukraine. And we're seeing that happen. So it is not the place of Joe Biden to make that decision now. We have a newly elected president, and we're going to wait and take the new commander-in-chief's direction on all of that. So I don't expect any Ukraine funding to come out now.
I don't expect any Ukraine funding to come out. Yeah.
Slam.
But shut down. That's it. It's done.
Right.
So
WWF when the guy will jump off the ropes and the guy see him coming.
Yeah.
And he grabs him and he slams him onto the ground.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm picturing here.
Yeah, exactly.
And he jumps on top of it. Boom.
Exactly.
Biden just got slammed.
No, he did. He did. Yeah. He got slammed from the top rope, right?
Yeah.
And talking about Biden, pardoning Biden Jr. What is up with that, bro?
Well, let me tell you about that one. Biden messed up.
Yeah.
Because once Biden Jr. once he received the pardon, he can no longer take the Fifth Amendment.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, the light bulb.
What? Yeah. I wasn't thinking that. Wow.
So what does that mean?
They gave me right his butt. And guess what? He's going to have to testify. He's going to have to speak.
That means
stay silent.
He can't tell the investigators I don't want to talk. He can't tell the judge I plead the Fifth. He can't tell Congress I plead the Fifth. That's over.
Wow.
He has a pardon. They can't the Fifth Amendment doesn't apply anymore because they can't go after him.
Right.
So they can compel him to tell all.
And
some have theorized that he turned that laptop in for repair on purpose so that the information would be found and put out.
That's an interesting take, but I mean, you never know. Yeah.
Some folks believe that he had it out for his dad. So
yeah, and you know what? In a lot of ways, we don't know the family's dynamic. They can say everything's hunky-dory, but behind closed doors, we don't know what goes on. We don't know how much they hate each other or dislike each other or backstab each other and all that stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, bro. So We shall see. But yeah, that light bulb, that just when you said that, I was like, oh, that's right. Ah, nice. So,
yep. So Joe messed up. Now they can come after him. All right, what do we got next here?
Joe Biden's push for electric vehicles exposed.
Go for
Let's
it.
see. Oh, trying to rewind it. Oh, there we go.
Ever wonder why Sleepy Joe was pushing for electric vehicles super hard over the last few years with seemingly no cause? And I guess he was doing it in the name of climate change, but I'm about to squash that really quickly. This is BHR Partners. They're an equity investment fund management company based out of Shanghai, China. They are controlled by the Bank of China Limited, and they have a partnership with none other than Hunter Biden. They deal with mergers, acquisitions, investment, and reforms of state-owned enterprise. As of 2017, their assets under management was about 12 billion yen. Not too shabby. And here are their founders up here. Oh, wait a second. Devin Archer, we know that name. How do we know that name? And here is where it all comes together. Hunter Biden helped facilitate the purchase of one of the world's richest cobalt mines for $3.8 billion in the Congo through this Chinese company. The competition between China and the U.S. in securing cobalt, a raw material used in electric vehicles. No way. You're telling me that he was using his presidential political influence to get you and I to buy electric vehicles to get his family filthy, stinking rich, and it had nothing to do with climate change at all? What? No.
What? Joe Biden? Really? Like, he's really trying to set this whole thing up to get stinking rich? Wow. That shouldn't be news to anybody, bro. From Ukraine to this, and there's a few other companies that he's been involved with that has to do with a bunch of money and pushing an agenda to sell more, but obviously for their own personal gain and all that. That's nuts, bro. That's nuts.
Yeah.
But what are people going to call it? Oh, it's a conspiracy theory. That's just a conspiracy theory.
Only truth deniers would say that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they want to play this silly name-calling game with their CIA created conspiracy theory moniker.
Mm-hmm.
Not my own. They're truth deniers. So, yeah. I mean, does this surprise anybody after Barista and all the other stuff? Nah, it didn't surprise me. No, yeah, electric vehicles on the cobalt mine. Yeah.
But bro, you know whose fault it is? It's Trump's fault.
Well, I mean, the fact that Eve fell to Satan's temptation in the garden is Trump's fault.
Trump's fault, bro. Like, people don't know that one? Hello? Trump's fault.
If a star explodes somewhere in a far galaxy, it's Trump's fault.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. If I fall and crack my cacax over here, it's going to be Trump's fault, bro. You know, I'm just saying. You know, so.
Yeah, it snowed over here just a slight bit the other day. That's Trump's fault.
Trump's fault. See?
Yeah.
It's all Trump's fault.
Yeah.
Man, good stuff. People, and that's why I encourage people to research. Don't go for the immediate media to give you the right information. Talk about misinformation. That right there, firsthand television and networks and all this crap that give you not the real information. Go to, third-party people that are actually, me and my brother have mentioned, where the real news come from. And it's street credibility, street cred. People that have rapport with people around town, communities, and can actually get answers and can actually get to the bottom of things. And that's some better reporting, I'd say.
You mean they don't get it from the 18-year-old in his mom's basement get minimum wage from YouTube?
They might get it from the mom, not that 18-year-old. The mom's probably the one spitting some, some truth. And then she's like, yeah, my 18-year-old son just sits in the basement, does nothing but play video games all day. And he's probably not 18. He's more like 30 years old.
Well, maybe 18-year-old in mental capacity. How's that? Immaturity.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right.
Should be clear about that,
All right.
And what we got here next, Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil and Tom Holman.
Let's see what he's got to say.
I'm here with Tom Homan. We've just landed in Arizona. We're headed to the border. We're going to talk to the guys and find out what's going on for real.
We're 47 days out from inauguration. We're not waiting. Game on today.
What do you think we're going to see?
I think we're going to see exactly what this administration has done to the most secure border in my lifetime. And we're going to develop plans today to help these sheriffs make their community safer and secure the border once again.
These are some brave men and women down here working hard, so we're going to hear what they have to say. I'm here with Tom Homan. We've just...
What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute, bro. Since when does government officials start working before they even come into the new administration? What is this? I've never seen this happen before. Usually they put things off for later.
True. You're absolutely right on that. But they ain't messing around.
No, I love it.
It's not an indication of how serious this new Trump administration is. They're not playing games. No. And if Washington thinks they're going to be able to just do their usual games and survive, I think they're in for a very, very rude awakening.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we've spoken about, if and when Trump wins, not if, we kind of knew he was going to win. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while, but anyways, we have said it's going to be a completely different administration this time around. Listening to Trump speak at the, Joe Rogan show, and him speaking about his, first administration and the things he dealt with, and how obviously he learned a lot from that. And this time around, he's going to make wiser choices. He's going to implement things that are going to benefit the American people even more. So, man, this is what we need. This is what the people, what the American people need. We need a good economy. We need to stop control that border big time, and secondly, forget the wokeness, forget, these mamby-pamby, sissified men that are trying to run our country. It's terrible. It's terrible, bro. So, I mean, there's already things happening in regards to the wokeness. That's going to end at some point. I'm waiting for them to come out saying, by the way, it's done. No more wokeness. Wokeness out the window. Because it'll be nice not having to hear it in the government. And
you're not going to have to wait. You're not going to have to wait very long.
Nope.
It's going to be kicked out of the military pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
With the new Secretary of Defense.
Absolutely.
He ain't gonna be playing.
No, he ain't gonna be playing. And the military is gonna go through a big reform too, and it's gonna be different for sure.
Long needed, I tell you.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. I don't think there's many countries that respect us. They fear us, but they don't respect us at all because of what's transpired the last 4 years.
Well, that's about to change.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Looking forward to that change. And I don't know, some guy by the name Jeff Claiborne tweeted this: FEMA must be eliminated. This is a land grab in North Carolina, plain and simple. It was also a land grab in Maui. Pending full investigation, the DOJ needs to charge and arrest these criminals. And what he reposted was this. It says, if it doesn't enrage you, then nothing will. FEMA is paying for illegals to live in rent-free Maine in brand new apartments that cost between $1,800 to $2,200 rent, I'm assuming, when there are victims of living in tents in freezing temperatures. This is unforgivable. And to add to that, a lot of these people in North Carolina as well, they're living in tents outside of their home as they're trying to build their homes with $750 that the government, hand them, or supposed to be supposed to hand them, right?
That was a loan.
Oh, it's a loan. It's not even giving money. It's a loan. $750 meager dollars, bro.
And they can't put temporary housing in because it's now deemed a flood zone. What? Once every 100 years?
Yeah, right.
Seriously?
It's
I guess
unbelievable.
I guess I'm gonna have to be kicked out of my house, brother.
Bro,
I bet you it floods here more than it does there.
You're in trouble, bro. I was gonna say you're in trouble.
I must be. No, you know what it is? It's lithium.
Yeah, for sure.
The land grab. They want the lithium.
They want the lithium, right? That's the big, and that's
Right.
again another conspiracy theory that has been thrown out there, right? That they say it's conspiracy theory, but we know who owns part of those lithium caves out there. Wasn't what's her name? Karis, that woman,
Yeah.
Jezebel, right?
Yeah.
Isn't her husband own one of the right?
Right.
So there's people that want those, bro. And the best thing to do is, yeah, deem those communities inhabitable. That way they can kick them out at some point, or here we'll give you a few cents and get out of here, so that they can go in and get that, brother, get the lithium. You know.
So the truth deniers are throwing out the term conspiracy theory again.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh man, they need a new playbook.
Conspiracy theory. Conspiracy
We're
theory.
going to be scoring touchdown after touchdown after touchdown on them if they stay with that playbook.
Now you know what's going to be next, bro?
What's that?
It's going to see, you know how sports has CT scans? It's going to be CT scans, but for conspiracy theory scans. Scan your head for conspiracy theory. Get some results in this gentleman here.
Here, stand in front of the truth denier scan so we can call you a conspiracy theorist.
Right,
There we go.
exactly. All right, let me play this. Let's say what we got.
How much is rent here?
Free. 2 years.
After 2 years, we have to pay the rent.
All right, y'all, this is Savannah Hernandez in Brunswick, Maine, reporting to you from the apartments where migrants are getting their rent paid for up to 2 years. Now, I wanted to give you guys a first inside look at these units. The migrants shared with us that they come furnished, so they have a flat screen TV in there, couches, tables and chairs, a bed. We also asked them as well, hey, are you paying utilities here? They shared with us that nope, they do not have a water bill, they do not have an electricity bill.
And what about the light and the water?
Everything is good. We don't pay anything.
Now, I wanted to focus in on this area of Maine because there is a housing crisis going on currently for residents, and these buildings were initially created for Maine residents, but then it was decided that homeless migrants would be living here. Now, as an American, you can rent out one of these units, but a 1-bedroom is going to run you about $1,800, and a 2-bedroom is going to run you about $2,300. By the way, the average housing price for a house over here in Brunswick is about $480,000. So there was obviously a lot of outrage when it was first discovered that migrants were going to be housed here for free on taxpayer dollar. Now, I wanted to focus in on Brunswick as well because this is the same county that has received FEMA funding from that same program that spent almost $1 billion through the fiscal year of 2023 and 2024 on sheltering illegal immigrants throughout the United States of America. By the way,
wow, just wow.
How much, if you got the bureaucratic garbage out of the way, the flood zone nonsense, and you put that $1 billion toward the folks in Western North Carolina, do you think any of them would be freezing to death in the next 3 months? Because it's really cold out there right now. It's cold out here.
Right.
It got into the teens last night here in central North Carolina. It's been super cold. And so why is that $1 billion going to illegal, quote, immigrants, end quote, and not to the people, U.S. citizens who need it in Western North Carolina?
Yeah.
See, this is the kind of stuff. I'm going to tell you something. The next 4 years in Congress is going to be investigation after investigation after investigation. And the Department of Justice is going to be real busy taking down government officials who are pulling this kind of nonsense and garbage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I almost want to do, bro? I'll tell my family, my wife and my kids, hey, we're going to leave our house. We're going to go to Mexico. And then we're going to cross back with different names. And we're going to say we're illegal. And maybe we can get some housing, paid off already, rent free. And we don't have to struggle as much as we do in California, right?
Oh, man. I keep praying for you guys out there in California.
Oh man, it keeps going up, bro. You know
Oh,
what the
man.
medium is for rent out here? I was laughing when she said
I would
18 to
have to
1900.
guess 4 to 5,000 a month.
Well, that's if you want a big gigantic house, and that's a big house will cost you 5,000 and up.
Okay, so
For a
apartment, I'm gonna say,
two bedroom apartment, let's say in
uh-huh.
La Mesa, California. You know where La Mesa is.
La Mesa is a pretty nice little area
2,500 for a
for one
two
bedroom.
bedroom. If you want to go anything more than that, it's going to cost you 28, 29,
You know
depending on the
what?
area. Depending on the area, and if you want a nice one, it's going to cost you over 3. Houses, forget it. 35, 37, 38, 40, 4,000.
Oh, I looked at my old house in El Cajon just the other day.
Uh-huh.
I think it's up. It's around $800,000 now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Insane.
Yep.
You know, and both of those rent prices you just gave are more than my mortgage, and that's on a 15-year mortgage.
Wow. Yeah.
On a house that's over 2,100 feet.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, 200, it's like 21, 25 square feet home. And it's less than the rent for a 1-bedroom in La Mesa.
Yeah. That house over here is probably $1 million. Easy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, especially with, you know, a third of an acre.
Oh, yeah. That's over $1 million. Easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's crazy, bro. But hey, I have hope that things might change. I think once a good opportunity comes, hey, I wouldn't mind staying in California, but we shall see. We'll see what the Lord wills us to do here. And but in the meantime, man, it's yeah.
What do you think? You think they'll arrest the governor for violation of federal law because he will not cooperate with the federal government in rounding up the illegal quote immigrants end quote?
I think Trump will do what he says he's going to do this time around.
I think the nation's going to be shocked.
Yeah.
Because
there's been a few of them already that said, if he comes in here and tries to push me to, and a lot of people are saying, bro, don't fluff off your chest. Don't. It's going to be a rude awakening for you. So
I think there's going to be a ton of mayors around the United States that are going to go into handcuffs, and maybe a few governors.
Yeah, and good. They should. They should.
I think the country would rejoice to see that.
Yeah.
Especially time.
No, absolutely. And especially, I'm sorry, but especially with the scumbag, I'm sorry to call him because he's a scumbag, governor of California. It's the more I get to see what he's doing and he has done and what he's for and the things he said, brother. That guy is something special, and only in California. Absolutely. It's been such a blue state for so long that they accept it. The more taxes, please, and all this other stupid stuff that we can do for other states, bring them all over here. It's okay. We'll take them. That's why our state is the way it is.
I tell you, California truly was a paradise when I moved out there in the 80s.
Right. Yeah.
It really was. It was the most amazing, most beautiful state I'd ever seen in my life.
Best years of my life, 80s and 90s, when it came to living in my state. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And they have ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
Destroyed. Oh,
yeah. Unfortunately, brother. But yes, we hope to see a lot of these changes take place. And man, it'll be beautiful to see our lovely state go back to, the root of what it's always been, beautiful and affordable and just people, enjoying life out here, so we shall see, brother.
Well, let's see what Tucker's up to.
Let's see what Tucker Carlson has for us today.
In the week since we left Russia, Moscow, where we are now, in February after interviewing Vladimir Putin, we've watched from the United States as the Biden administration has driven the U.S. ever closer to a nuclear conflict with Russia, the country that possesses the world's largest nuclear arsenal. It has accelerated ever since, and it's reached its apogee so far in the weeks after Trump's election. He is now the president-elect. In that time, just a few weeks ago, the Biden administration, American military personnel, launched missiles into mainland Russia and killed at least a dozen Russian soldiers. So we are, unbeknownst to most Americans, in a hot war with Russia, an undeclared war, a war you did not vote for and that most Americans don't want, but it is ongoing. And because of that war, because of the fact that the U.S. military is killing Russians in Russia right now, we are closer to nuclear war than at any time in history. Far closer than we were during the Cuban Missile Crisis. That would mean the elimination of Russia, the United States, and most of the rest of the world. We felt there must be someone behind the scenes in Washington working to make sure that this conflict doesn't become a nuclear holocaust. But we found out that no, in fact, there is nobody. Tony Blinken, the current Secretary of State, cut off all contact between the U.S. and Russian governments. There is no back channel, there is no conversation, there hasn't been for more than 2 years. That's shocking. Meanwhile, most Americans have no access to any perspective other than that granted to them by NBC News and the New York Times. They don't know how close we are. They don't know the Russian perspective. We've been trying for over a year to get that perspective out to American news consumers. We've also tried for over a year to get an interview with Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. We've attacked that from a bunch of different angles. We've spoken to a lot of different people around him, had dinner with them. We've been in talks continuously, and those efforts have been thwarted by the U.S. government. The American embassy in Kiev, which our tax dollars pay for, told the Zelensky government, no, you may not do the interview. You can talk to CNN, you can't talk to us. So we've been unable to speak to him. So we came back to Moscow yesterday to interview the foreign minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, the longest serving foreign minister in the world. He's been a part of this government for 25 years. He's been in the diplomatic corps for over 40. And ask him, where exactly are we? Are we headed toward an unprecedented conflict between Russia and the United States? Is there any way to peel Russia back from the east, from the sphere of China, back into the west? Is that alliance permanent? And does the election of Donald Trump mean an end to this war, which is reshaping the world, the U.S. economy, the global economy, and risking the life of every person on this planet? Is that possible? We just walked out of that interview. It's absolutely fascinating. It's coming very soon, we hope.
See, I told you, Gog and Magog about to take place.
Oh, gosh.
Living in the last days, man. Brain, I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course, you and I understand that Ezekiel 38 and 39, Gog and Magog, was fulfilled and recorded, the fulfillment of it recorded in the book of Esther.
Yeah.
Before Christ even came, before the incarnation of Christ, that war took place. Come on, folks. You really think people are going to be running around on horses with spears and swords and chariots and fighting each other in 2024? Seriously? You prophecy experts out there, a lot of you need to just go find a different profession because you're horrible at it.
Yeah, they need to go away.
And they're all over YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Over YouTube.
Bro,
and during all that,
wait a minute.
During all that false information, I don't.
That's the real misinformation. That's the
real misinformation.
YouTube
I
should
don't
be
censor
censoring,
it,
bro.
Yeah, I don't censor it. If they want to say it, fine. But I just ask people to have a brain and not believe that garbage.
Yeah. But talk about real misinformation. False prophecy. Come on, folks. It makes complete sense. Garbage.
It's garbage.
But anywho.
Read Ezekiel 38 and 39.
Yes, absolutely.
Clear. It's clear. It is past fulfilled. Read that and then go and read the book of Esther. Mm-hmm. And read about the war that occurs in the book of Esther. It was empire-wide, the Babylonian Empire, which was the known world at that time. It was a worldwide war against the Jews, and the Jews overwhelmed and defeated their enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the fulfillment of Ezekiel 38 and 39.
Right.
And they came back into the land just as Ezekiel said they would, pre-Christ incarnation. And people say, it couldn't be that. No, it is that. Well, but because it says that there'd be multiple nations involved and then there was only one nation. It was only Babylon. Okay. You need to go back and go back to history class, okay? Because you failed the class. Babylon was an empire. What does empire mean? It means multiple nations under one roof.
Yeah, right.
Yes, it was multiple nations. Good night. I listen to these guys sometimes and I just want to throw things. It's like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
You know, it's the narcissism. I'm telling you. We
Absolutely.
are a narcissistic generation thinking that we're so special that everything in prophecy applies to us. Okay, we need to stop that garbage. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll move on. Right?
No, absolutely. We don't want to spend too much time. I was grinding your gears a little bit there.
I'm
But
gonna
anywho,
blow a
it's
boiler and
very,
steam's gonna
yeah.
come out of my head in a moment.
I'm very interested to hear that interview between the
I would be, yeah, me too.
just to
Very
see what his response was. But I am thinking because Trump is coming into the presidency, or is our president now. He just start off his administration coming up. I think Russia is probably holding off for that because they know that Trump will speak to peace and he will resolve the
I
issue.
think Putin is hoping and that nothing will escalate before January 20th.
Yeah.
And I think that he's trying hard not to let it escalate, but it's really going to depend on NATO and what they do. And so you can see why the Trump administration is already stepping in and trying to take care of things because everything is so it's chaotic. Everything's so out of control.
Yeah.
The adults have to come in and clean up the mess that the children have made. And the house is going to burn down. And if the adults don't step in early and put the fire out,
yeah,
oh
absolutely.
wait, you can't go in and put the fire out until January the 20th. No, I'm sorry, we're stepping in now.
Yeah,
because we're not going to let the house burn down.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I found it interesting that they shut down the interview with the Ukraine's president, and we know how much the Biden administration has been in cahoots with Ukraine and their president, and for them to shut down the interview with Tucker Carlson, I found it very interesting. So, but yeah, good stuff. Hopefully, we do not reach World War III, brother. Our prayer is that there is peace and that we can continue living peacefully without any war.
Berean.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right,
got
so this is a short
Sean
clip.
Bryan, whom is a USMC combat veteran and New Mexico State captain. Is that what I'm saying? Yeah. 4 Vets for Freedom made a statement about Pete Hegseth and his leadership. Let's see what he's got to say about him.
My name is Sean Bryan. I served as the captain for New Mexico's Vets for Freedom under the leadership of Pete Hegseth. As a Marine, it was always an honor for me to represent our warriors and to follow Pete's leadership. I even followed his leadership all the way to Iraq to observe the surge. And as we were there, his bravery and character were just amazing. To watch him interact from generals to lower enlisted Marine soldier sailors, he wanted to talk to anybody he could get in front of. As we came home, his interactions with the Gold Star families and the true love that he had for not just the warriors, but for the families who had given the sacrifices really affected me. And over the years, Pete has always been there, no matter what was going on. If there was a warrior, somebody that was down, Pete's always been that true American patriot that wants to be there and support however he can. And I, for one, would be honored to know that he became the Secretary of Defense. Thank you.
Yeah, I've read nothing but amazing things about this man, Pete Hegseth, and he's a believer.
Yes, he is.
So, again, we talk about Christian character, Christian above reproach and meekness and kindness and humbleness. I hear nothing but that from this man. Everybody that has encountered him, brother, and then the way he speaks, he's firm, he's direct, but I see humbleness. I see very much edification for individuals, whom he's speaking with, which, man, it's amazing. What a difference of that leadership to what we had in the past, right?
Right. And he's also no nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
He's
Absolutely.
he's gonna come in and he's gonna turn our military back into a military.
Right.
And not a woke experiment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these mentally ill admirals and generals and others, whoever else in there that is pushing the wokeism and the transgenders, I think they're in for a very, very rude awakening.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, yeah.
Craziness, bro. Craziness.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin McKernan gene sequenced a colon tumor, a few weeks ago and matched the genetic sequence to the Pfizer vaccine. It's freaking over.
Yeah. So listen what he has to say, and just a few seconds of it. Go ahead.
By the way, this will probably get us removed from YouTube for playing this.
Well, we're not posting this on YouTube. YouTube's
I get too technical, and I'm not a biologist. When Kevin McKernan gene sequenced the tumor, the colon tumor, a few weeks ago, and matched the genetic sequence to the Pfizer vaccine, it's friggin' over. It's over. I mean, he got him.
Can you explain that? That's because it's listed on my things to ask you about the SV40 promoter that.
What? So, this is actually the first time I hear about that, bro.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah. Gene sequence, a tumor, colon tumor, and it's a perfect match, genetic match to the sequence of the Pfizer vaccine. Folks, what other evidence do you need?
I haven't been able to verify that yet.
Well, when do you think the lawsuits are going to pile up beginning of the year?
I think as soon as they remove the act that was signed in 1986 that protected the
that's right.
companies,
yeah.
As soon as they remove that, it's game over.
Yeah, that needs to be removed. By the way, it does.
Yeah. But where am I going to get my drugs if Pfizer goes down or Merck or, well, you know what? Honest people will go into the pharmaceutical business. People who are not going to lie to you, and they'll make the drugs that you need. It's not going to be that bad. So, all right. So here's Tom Horman again.
Let's play what Mr. Horman has
to
say.
I don't understand why this administration lost their minds. I mean, we're at the point now with this administration where it's someone who enforces the law, ICE officers, they're the bad guys. But those who broke our laws, they're the victims. This whole world's upside down under this administration. That's why I'm very excited about President Trump taking back the White House January 20th. I'm waiting. I'm not waiting to start my job. I'm already meeting with Texas Governor Abbott. I'm here in Dallas, Texas. I go to Arizona tomorrow. We're already working on fixing this problem, so can't wait for January 20th so we can actually get started doing the real work.
Oh,
wow. That's it. That's the leadership we need, bro. They're not waiting for the new administration to come in. They already start working. Work starts the moment you won. That's it.
Yeah, these are not Washington insiders playing the game.
Mm-mm. Right.
These are outsiders coming in and shaking things up.
Oh, yeah. And they were waiting for the right individual to be put into the presidency, which we were all hoping. We knew it was going to be Trump. This time around, there was a no doubter, bro. So, yeah, that's why they're running. They're starting off right away because we won. We won in November. Guess what? Work starts right away. We don't have to wait till the new year starts. Let's start implementing. Come on.
Yep.
Good stuff, bro. Let's see. We got Charlie Kirk says, if you're 18 and think you're the opposite sex, you have a mental illness. If you're 8 and think you're the opposite sex, your mother has a mental illness. What says you of this statement? Is this true, bro? Or is it harsh? Or, are people going to be, have some hurt feelings? They need a safe space and a emotional support blanket. That's what I call it.
I think that was real pithy of Charlie. I like that so much I had to post it.
Just a little bit, but hey,
Yeah. And sin is a form of mental illness among many other things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, even when people really, really believe this stuff, folks, that's the fallen nature. That's the sinfulness within individuals. You might think there's a lot of things that are right in your mindset, but the Bible tells us not lean on your own understanding, right? Therefore, they're gonna think those things, they're gonna believe that way. But my man Charlie Kirk comes out saying, "Hey, no, I don't think so. It's a mental illness. You might be a little ill here." I'm sure a lot of people were offended by this. Yeah. And Charlie Kirk, another one. Talk about blunt and straightforward and no mess around. Charlie Kirk is the same way.
Yeah, and
He
he's a
doesn't.
believer also.
He's a believer as well. Yeah. And I like his interactions with individuals. I've seen some of them in college. And when he did that one panel where he sat in the middle and he was surrounded by every liberal kid, in that school. And I mean, they were brutal to him. But no, he sat there, he took it, he responded, and he wasn't taking, any crap from them either.
No.
So,
No, why should we? Who
right.
the heck are they?
Exactly.
They haven't lived any life yet.
Absolutely.
They haven't gone through hardship.
Yeah.
They haven't. I mean, what? They think they're smart because they're getting some education from a university?
Right.
Oh, okay, kid. Just wait.
Yeah.
Wait till you get in your 40s and 50s and let's see how smart you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Now,
Anyway.
let's talk a little bit about that before we got a little bit of time. So let's spend a couple minutes talking about that.
All right.
When people use their weight, meaning, I got this piece of paper, therefore you're no match for me. Like I was faced in a back and forth between me and an individual that I finally had challenged him to a debate, and I said we could set this up, blah blah blah. And he basically told me, "Look, I am a prosecuting lawyer. You are nothing, pretty much. You won't be able to handle me." What is it with people when they throw the weight around, especially Christians, brother? Is that a wise thing to do? To use your credentials, your position, your authority over people to throw some weight?
Not in a prideful way like that. No, that's just arrogance.
Right. And unfortunately, we see that a lot, brother, especially when, you're going back and forth with people in social media. We see a lot of that. Why do you think Christians do that? Is it because they are mature? They lack wisdom and discernment? Or is it their right to throw some weight and go, "Hey, look, little boy, you got nothing on me. I got this piece of paper that says I'm a lawyer, written in crayon,"
Why do Christians do that? Immaturity.
Okay.
I would say it has to be immaturity. And pride, arrogance, sin of the flesh.
Yeah.
Great. You're a lawyer. Okay. I hope you do well in court, with your arguments.
Right.
Right. Lawyers learn the law. They learn some logic. They learn rhetoric. They learn how to speak well. They learn how to make arguments. They learn how to analyze things, think through things carefully to win the argument. They're good debaters.
Sure.
So, yeah, he's a good debater. But the greatest debater in the world can't win an argument when they have falsehood and are arguing against truth.
Absolutely.
And it's true, especially true of Christians. You're going to argue against the scriptures?
Exactly. So because you're a great debater doesn't automatically result that you're going to be a great theologian. It just doesn't.
Right. I mean, you're a great debater, but you don't know theology.
Right.
You don't know Christian apologetics. You don't know eschatology. You don't know soteriology. You don't know ecclesiology. You don't know any of that stuff. You're just filled with pride because that's what the university did to you. It made you an arrogant, prideful know-it-all that really needs to be humbled. And unfortunately, God will humble him if he doesn't change his attitude.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, I hate that happens, but people do that to themselves.
Yeah, they do. Unfortunately, they do. But yeah, absolutely. Well, there you have it. That's all I have, bro. We got just about a minute and 20 seconds. Closing thoughts? You know what to do.
Well, folks, the world's crazy right now, but look, remember, stay in the scriptures daily. Stay in prayer daily. And trust in the sovereignty and providence of God. And stop worrying about everything that's going on in the world. Worry's not going to get you anywhere.
Amen.
Trust in the Lord. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. And thanks for watching on Rumble. God bless. And remember, keep your mind sharp and your heart pure. And we'll see you next podcast.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.
You have been listening to the Vortex Apologetic Podcast.
Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to listen to the Vortex Apologetic. It is our prayer that God is glorified and that you are richly blessed by this podcast. We are living in amazing times, and it is a privilege to encourage and strengthen your Christian walk through the use of modern technology. Therefore, remember that you can find us at thevortexapologetic.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all major podcast providers. Just search for The Vortex Apologetic, and there you will find us. Thank you again, and remember, keep your mind sharp and your heart pure. God bless.